Now I'm starting by taping my paper on all the four sides. You can either use a scotch tape or a masking tape or a washi tape for this. Any type of tape will work which won't ruin your paper when you remove it. So first check that and then you can use any kind of such tape. Make sure you tape it keeping kind of equal widths on all four sides since we'll get a nice background border then. So let's start making our color shades. So we'll require a cerulean blue directly, then we'll require a deep sea blue shade which we already made by mixing our dark green or a viridian green with our dark blue, any kind of dark blue, that is a cerulean or a Persian blue or a ultramarine blue. Then we'll require a lighter sea green shade which we made by mixing emerald green and cobalt blue. So now let's first give a thin wash of water to our paper. For doing this, I am using a flat brush and I am first going with vertical strokes and giving a nice wash. Then I'm taking my darker deep blue shade and dropping some of the shade here and there. So while doing this, I am just going in random shapes. I'm not much concerned about the kind of shape I'm getting. So since it is a natural water body, so if you want to get exact shapes that I am doing, then you can keep pausing the video and seeing the exact locations where I am painting it. Now I'm cleaning the brush and just spreading it with a little amount of water. And now I'm going in with my yellow sand color and going from the bottom, and as I go up I am just using some water to spread it above. So make sure you don't mix the blue and the sand color, otherwise you will get a weird green color which you don't want. So just do it till the border part and let the bottom portion remain a bit darker, and as you go up you can just spread it with water. Now make sure you wait till your first layer completely dries up, and after your first layer is dried up, just go with one single wash of water. I am going in with horizontal strokes and not going over the strokes too many times because I don't want to activate the earlier layer which I have given. So make sure you go just once with a stroke with water. And then I'm just dropping in the darker deep blue shade. So this is again the Persian blue plus the dark green. Then I'm dropping some ultramarine blue or the cerulean blue. So I'm doing this very fast, okay? So I don't want my layer of water to dry up. So that's why we need to do it very quickly before our water layer dries up completely. So if you in case do it slowly and your water layer dries up, then you can just keep it wet by giving a little more of a water wash. So again, I'm going with the deepest blue shade which we made by mixing the dark blue and black and putting it in some places to give some depth to our water. So make sure you do this really quickly and you will definitely get it with more practice. So first attempt you can go slow. I am doing this many times, so now I am getting used to it. But you can go slow and don't worry if it doesn't happen right in the first attempt. Keep doing it and you will get it. Now we'll wait for the second layer to dry up completely. You can even dry it with a dryer. And now I am using my fabric white. Fabric white because I want a very opaque white color. So you can either use a acrylic white or a fabric or a poster color white. Don't use your watercolor white for this because it will slightly be dull than this color shade. So now I am just going in with some dry color, not adding a much of water to it. Just added few drops of water to make it of a paintable consistency. But I am going in with a very smaller brush and just tapping the color on my paper and going with upward direction. So you can see because of the cold pressed rough texture of the paper, I am achieving a texture directly with this brush by just pressing some color in on my paper. So it's better to use a cold press paper because it's easier to achieve such texture due to the original nature of our paper itself. So see, because of this white, it's nice to get deep white color which will enhance your painting more. That's why I'm not using a watercolor. Now I will use the watercolor white where I don't want that dark intensity of the white to be. So as we go above, I don't want the intensity of the white to be that much. That's why now I am using my watercolor white and going in with some small stroke above. So these strokes will get lighter when they dry off. So we want the white to be really bright in the bottom part where the waves is meeting the sand, and it will go on fading as we go above. So that's why in the bottom part use a nice opaque white of any medium, and above you can use a watercolor white. Now I'm just giving some yellow ochre shade above my white layer. This is because the wave which hits on the sand is kind of transparent because of the transparent nature of water, and that's why you can see the sand through your wave also. So we'll have to create that slight effect, and that's why I'm just going over my water wave with my yellow ochre. And now I'm just adding the deepest blue onto the wave to give some nice depth to it. So I'm just going in with my deep blue here and there with some random strokes. So as you can see, these strokes are not very clean and nice. I am keeping them rough and random so that it will look more natural. So now I'm going with the sea blue shade, that is green plus blue. If you are not getting the exact shades, you can again go to my color theory chapter and see how to make those. Now I'm taking my darker sand color, which is yellow ochre plus burnt sienna, and just giving little strokes onto the wave. Make sure you don't make exact line while you're doing this. I'm just giving it in some parts to make slight shadow of the wave which is coming on the sand, but don't make a clean line bordering your entire wave. Don't do that. Make sure you do that only in certain parts to give a slight shadow effect. Now I'm just mixing some little amount of blue color with my burnt sienna color to get a very deep brown shade, and I'm just giving it very lightly on some parts to mark my shadows of the wave. So you can see how immediately the wave has got some depth due to doing this. So do it on very little spaces, not on the entire waveline. And our painting is done. Now we'll just remove off the background tape, and the painting is ready to beautify our shelves. So let's move on to paint our next beach now.